Howdy, world.
What it do, world? We're doing a music review today, and it was a recommendation by someone.
Did anybody believe that?
I sold it.
Probably much as they believe me, right?
I sold it. Jeez. We are doing a song featuring a duet by Brad Paisley and LL Cool J that was sent to us by one of our subscribers, piggybacking on the Joyner Lucas video that we did. So we're going to do that today. Stay tuned. I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian, and this is Cedric and Brian. So we wanted to get into our roles this time because we wanted to be prepared. Are you prepared?
Like Brian says, are you prepared? Do you have enough food, water, and other essentials to get you through tough times? If not, check out My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's #1 preparedness company, and they've served millions of American families just like yours. Right now, you can save 25% off their popular 4-week emergency food kit, which will keep you well fed for 4 weeks worth of breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, and snacks, totaling over 2,000 calories a day. This food stays fresh for up to 25 years in proper storage, so it will be there when you need it. In fact, you may need it a lot sooner than that.
So don't wait. Go to www.preparewithcedricandbrian.com. That's www.preparewithcedricandbrian.com.
I think I look like LL. If you say I don't, Mama say knock you out. Mama say knock you out. Mama say knock you out.
I'm guessing that's an LL Cool J song.
Yeah, I think she wouldn't know that, I guess. Anyway, we
To be honest, I wouldn't know a Brad Paisley song either,
right.
so.
We got a recommendation from Donna Bayhurst, and we're going to do the comment right up front so to set the mood for this. And she said, could you please listen to the song named Accidental Racist by Brad Paisley featuring LL Cool J. And she must have really wanted us to do this because not only did she leave it on our Joyner Lucas video, she also left it on the video when we commented on the comments from the Joyner Lucas video. So Donna Bayhurst, we are going to review that for you. This song's it's an old song. It's about 9 years old.
Yeah, I think it's almost 10 years old.
Yeah.
And it was controversial back then.
Extremely controversial. Just so I can be honest and upfront, it was so controversial, I listened to it. This is not a reaction. So for those of you who get ticked off by that, turn off the video now.
And it was so controversial, I'd never even heard of it before.
Yes.
I just figured they were talking about me because I didn't know I was a racist, so everybody tells me I am, so I guess I'm an accidental racist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a look at it. I think Brian and I have differing viewpoints on this, but we'll see.
Yeah, not everything's black and white, Cedric.
That was so hokey.
Well, this song's pretty hokey.
It is.
All right, you ready? Yes, we do stop.
Oh, jeez. There's no video, just words scrolling.
Starbucks down on Main, I hope you understand. When I put on that t-shirt, the only thing I meant to say is I'm a Skinner fan. The red flag on my chest somehow is like the elephant corner of the South, and I just walked him right in the room. Just a proud rebel son with an old can of worms, looking like I got a lot to learn. But from my point of view, I'm just a white man coming to you from the Southland, trying to what it's like not to be. I'm proud of where I'm from, but not everything we've done. And it ain't like you and me can rewrite history. Our generation didn't start this nation, but we're still
think that's a record for us. We've never gone that long without stopping it. Are you guys proud? Okay.
So I guess you have something to say.
I got a few things I want to say, but I want to get into
L
it.
sounds different.
L hasn't come up yet.
Oh, he hasn't? Okay.
Yeah, L hasn't come up yet. Well, there's a few things, and it sounds like Brad Paisley, he's talking in the beginning about going into a Starbucks. That's where you guys get coffee. I guess. You get a latte.
You guys.
With the...
I don't go into Starbucks anymore.
All right. Okay.
Wow. You guys. Already starting off racist.
All right.
I could say the same thing.
It'd be racist if you say.
There's a black guy working at a Starbucks?
No.
Really?
No.
That's what he was saying?
Right, I know. But I guess he went in there with a...
We're kidding. We're kidding.
We do that a lot, so get over it. It sounds like he went into the Starbucks wearing a shirt with a Confederate flag on it. Is that what the impression you got?
Yeah.
And I guess he's making the point that I'm a Leonard Skinner fan. Now,
and he's a proud Southerner.
There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Leonard Skinner shirts out there without the Confederate flag. You and I have had discussions about the Confederate flag many times. Mm-hmm. There's so many things that you can wear that shows you're proud of the South. Maybe the Confederate flag isn't the best choice.
Yeah, and I mean, we grew up with Dukes of Hazzard where it was, the star of the show, basically. So I can see how that's confusing. Again, I've mentioned this before. My last name's German. Heller is a German name. I wouldn't wear a Nazi flag just to be a proud German. That's you pick your battles. I'm not from the South. I'm going to be moving to the South, so I'm sure that my position, being a Yankee or a Westerner, is going to be different from people living in Tennessee and down there. But remember, that flag, people try to conflate it and say, oh, it's about, a different thing. It's not about slavery. Well, the whole reason for the Civil War was that the South wanted to keep slavery.
Right.
And that was their rebel flag, basically. So, you know what? You can be a proud Southerner and pick a different flag.
I agree. And I think there's a lot of Southerners, even now, and I'll just say young white Southerners, who have no idea what that flag meant back in the day.
Right.
They just rock it just because of what they did back in the day.
And we've showed people with black people having the Confederate flag that are from the South. Right. But again, wave the American flag.
Right. Exactly.
We talk about unity. How about just being an American patriot? But you know what? That's the slippery slope. Because now, if you wave American flag, people call you racist. So that I can understand.
We're getting there now.
Yeah. Which is scary.
Yeah. And we're like a minute 52 in. There's a line there he talking about the elephant. To me, that had a double meaning. Because as you know, the elephant, it's a symbol for the GOP, the Republican Party.
I don't think he was going that deep with it.
The second was like the elephant in the room is racism.
Right.
But
the shirt was the elephant in the room. You wear that shirt in.
Right. Let's talk about racism, but then, GOP, the people who are Republicans, are viewed as the racists.
Yeah. I mean, I think you could say that now. I'm not sure 9 years ago. This was pre-Trump, remember?
Right.
I mean, of course, the Republicans have always been the racists to the people on the left now, even though it was the Democrats that were the party of slavery.
Right.
But, we don't like to talk about that.
Didn't start this nation. We're still picking up the pieces, walking on eggshells, fighting over yesterday. And caught between Southern pride and Southern blame.
So, again, since we're not from the South, your family was from the South, and I guess that's a thing down there, Southern pride.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I don't have...
And I'm one generation away. My mom was from Alabama, my dad's from Mississippi. I was born and raised in Southern California.
Yeah. We don't have California pride, really.
Not anymore.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. If you use Southern pride and then you realize the history of this country, and it was the South and the Democrats that were fighting for slavery, the enslavement of people, that's a little different. All of you people, I know there's a lot of you from the South. We probably have it wrong because that's not where we're from. But when you walk in with a symbol that stood for something, and then you expect people not to have a visceral reaction to it, I think you're just being naive. When's LL coming on?
Soon.
They called it Reconstruction. fixed the buildings, dried some tears. We're still sifting through the rubble. After 150 years, I try to put myself in your shoes, and that's a good place to begin. It ain't like I can walk a mile in someone else's skin, 'cause I'm a white man living in the Southland. Just like you, I'm more than what you see. I'm proud of where I'm from, but not everything we've done. And it ain't like you and me can rewrite history. Our generation didn't start this nation. We're still paying for the mistakes that a bunch of folks made long before we came and caught somewhere between Southern pride and Southern blame.
See, I think Brad Paisley's coming from a good place.
Yeah.
He's trying to say, you know, this isn't my intentions. This happened before, but that goes both ways. And we talked about that before. Then you can't, like with the CRT, you can't blame
The
a race.
grandchildren of
Yeah, you
slave
can't-
owners can.
Yeah, you can't blame people for something that happened before. I mean, it doesn't mean anything if I apologize for it. The only thing that touches me about slavery is I saw Roots, and obviously I was taught in history class about
me too.
slavery. It's almost like he's apologizing or saying I can't apologize for something that didn't happen. But even to have that discussion is kind of silly. It's the only thing we talk
you and I
about.
talked about this before we started filming, and we did a spiff of that classic interview between Morgan Freeman and Christopher Wallace. And Morgan Freeman makes that profound statement of like the best way to get over racism is to stop talking about it. Right. I think this is Brad Paisley's attempt of saying, let's stop talking about it, but he's talking about it.
Yeah.
Let's stop talking about it, but I'm going to write a song about how we shouldn't be talking about it anymore because there's nothing that you and I can do about what happened in the past.
Yeah. So but then you get blamed. So if we don't talk about it, then you're ignoring the past. No, you're not. You teach it. You know that it's bad. Anybody who's a decent human being knows that it's bad, right. And to harp on it to the general public is ridiculous. Now, obviously we saw the shooting. There are racist individuals out there. Mm-hmm. Those are the people that you can either talk to or they're lost cause. But when you go and you just want to pound it into people that say, hey, I know slavery was bad. But then we get hit, and Cedric gets hit too, and say, hey, guess what? The South, the United States and the South weren't the only ones that had slavery. It was everywhere. Yes. And it was bigger in Brazil, it was bigger in other countries, and it's still going on today.
Yep.
But yet we don't want to let it go. And when I say we, the Al Sharptons and Jesse Jacksons and the Ibram X. Kendis.
The crew, the AOCs.
Yeah, they don't want to let that go. And maybe it's that whole reparations thing. People are still wanting their reparations. And it's like, well, who do you take it from?
Right.
So, all right, are we getting close to
I think we're getting close to LL. We're midway through.
Dear Mr. White Man, I wish you understood what the world is really like when you're living in the hood. Just because my pants are sagging doesn't mean I'm up to no good. You should try to get to know me. I really wish you would. Now my chains are gold, but I'm still misunderstood. I wasn't there when Sherman's march turned the South into firewood. I want you to get paid, but be a slave, I never could. Feel like a newfangled Django dodging invisible white hoods. So when I see that white cowboy hat, I'm thinking it's not all good. I guess we're both guilty of judging the cover, not the book. I'd love to buy you a beer, conversate and clear the air, but I see that red flag and I think you wish I wasn't here.
So
okay.
I get the end part of that.
Yeah.
Again, if you see somebody wearing something that is actually, and again, I know you people from the South, you're going to you're going to kind of hit back at me and say that's not what we mean it as.
Right.
And I can understand, because now you can't even wear a "Make America Great Again" hat without being called a racist or wave American flag. So I get that. Trust me, I do. But again, I think the Confederate flag is different than the red MAGA hat or
Absolutely.
the American flag,
Absolutely.
in my opinion.
Yes. I agree.
And you from the South may disagree. You might just say, no, that's just the heritage. but that flag stood for something,
Right.
in my opinion.
Well, a lot of people get judged by what they wear. I mean, you and I have talked about this at nauseum.
Yeah. White or black, though. It doesn't matter the
the
color.
exception of today's attire, we normally wear in something that's patriotic. And we've had numerous subscribers. Some of you out there have said, I've tried to get people to watch your videos, and just the thumbnail with me wearing an American flag on my T-shirt or Brian wearing an American flag on his T-shirt, they're like, I'm not going to listen. You're making a statement just by what you're wearing. I will disagree with LL on one thing. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what nationality you are. Pants sagging, it makes a statement.
Yeah.
And I just it's a grotesque statement. I don't like it. I wish that people from all nationalities would stop doing it. Nobody wants to see your draws. That's a Southern term for underwear.
And I think, I mean, I'm not going to say silly. This song is turning things into race that don't have to be race. Like Cedric just said, you do judge a book by its cover. If I see a person of any color with what Cedric just talked about there, because, you know, where we live, it was all the white kids, you know, junior high kids that wore the sagging pants now. Because it was the culture of rap or whatever brought it on. But you're going to do that in society anyways, and people need to learn that they're going to judge you. And that's why if you go into a job interview, you're going to wear a suit if you can, if that fits the job, but you're going to look nice and you're going to get yourself looking nice. So yes, we are going to judge people on
Absolutely.
how they look, and that's just, you can't change how people actually think. That's the psychology of people.
And good, bad, or indifferent, police profile.
Yeah.
That's part of their job, is looking, assessing the situation, saying pants sagging, smoking a blunt, bumping music out. That draws more attention than someone who's just like Carlton Banks from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, so I mean, I get what they're trying to do in this song, but I don't know.
Hey, hoods. So when I see that white cowboy hat, I'm thinking it's not all good. I guess we're both guilty of judging the cover, not the book. I'd love to buy you a beer, conversate and clear the air, but I see that red flag and I think you wish I wasn't here. If you don't judge my do-rag, I won't judge your red flag.
Wait a minute. He's comparing the do-rag and the... Okay, I never wore do-rag, Cedric.
Right.
But there was a reason for the do-rag, right?
I wore do-rag back in the day, high school, college, but that was during the times when African-American men had that wave look. It was more of a fashion thing to keep their waves
So it
going.
was through the wave. So it was an actual fashion thing. It would be like somebody putting their hair in braids.
And it
or
was
something.
functional. It was a functional thing.
So he's trying to compare looking at somebody with that, which was actually something that they did for their hair, with somebody who's wearing an obvious statement.
Right.
I don't think those are the same.
Me personally, back in high school and college, I had my do-rag on, but I kept it on in the house. And I would sleep with it on, but if I went outside into the general public, I took it off.
Right.
I didn't need to have it on all the time.
That goes back to assimilation too, and maybe it's different because that was a style back then. A lot of Scots, my family's Scottish, we don't wear kilts here anymore. Right. You know, maybe there was a function for that at the time, but at some point you're like, you know, if I wear a kilt, people are going to judge me. It's just because it's not part of the norm of society.
Right.
Anyway.
Judge my do-rag, I won't judge your red flag.
Understand what it's like not to be. I'm proud of where
If you don't judge my gold
but
chain,
not everything we've done.
I'll forget the iron chain.
It ain't like you and me can rewrite history.
Can't rewrite history, baby.
Oh, Dixieland.
The relationship between the Mason-Dixon needs some
I
fixing.
hope you understand.
Wait, the funny thing is all this stuff with BLM and all that stuff, it had nothing to do with North and South.
No.
I mean, they're bringing up the Mason-Dixon line and all that stuff. It was within Minnesota that you were racist cops. It had nothing, and they're from the Midwest or the North. So that part of the song, I understand because Brad Paisley's from the South, so they're trying to keep the theme. But did you catch that part about the gold chains comparing them to?
Yes, very, very
shackles?
similar to the pants sagging and wearing the do-rag out in public. Excessive, what I call the Mr. T starter kit wrapped around you. You can't compare that to the iron chains of slavery. I kind of, it's a reach that LL's trying to make. I kind of understand where he's trying to come from, but I don't agree with the gold chains. And again, it's making a statement with what you wear in your appearance.
But back in the 70s, those were the Italians, remember?
Right.
That was the whole...
Right. The difference is the gold chains you could take off. The iron shackles,
right.
That wasn't an option.
That was
they were on there.
That was kind of a weak little...
Yeah, I get it.
Oh, Dixieland.
The relationship between the Mason-Dixon needs some fixing.
I hope you understand what this is all about.
Quite frankly, I'm a black Yankee, but I've been thinking about this lately.
I'm a son of the new South.
The past is the past, you feel me?
And I just want to make things right.
Let bygones be bygones.
All that's left is Southern pride.
R.I.P. Robert E. Lee. But I gotta thank Abraham Lincoln for freeing me. You know what I mean? It's real. It's real. It's truth.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Real quick, I know you have a lot to say.
No.
I think, and again, like I said before we started this video, I cheated a little bit, watched a few other LL interviews about this. He said the point was he wasn't trying to poo-poo slavery. He wasn't trying to say it didn't mean anything. Of course it meant something. He's saying that today, 2022, we can't change what happened back then. It is what it is. Now, a lot of people say, well, this was a very hokey song. Brad Paisley and Ella Coolidge threw some mud against the wall and to see what stuck. So it was kind of when the song came out 9 years ago, it was very, very weak, and it wasn't held up in very strong esteem by a lot of the people out there.
It was their attempt of trying to bring people together, I think. And, the underlying message, I think, is, hey, we need to understand each other. But my point is, they're coming at it, we need to understand each other as a black man and a white man. When Cedric and I always say, we're just both humans, and if we just quit focusing on the fact that we're different colors, then you don't even have to have that conversation. But I guess
I'll link this real quick. I'll try and make it fast. I know we're running out of time. If you guys haven't seen it, there's an incredible, I think it's a TikTok video, or maybe a short YouTube video with Jamie Foxx. And he's talking about how he was on a boat with a bunch of his black friends out in Florida. And he was surrounded by a bunch of other boaters who had the MAGA flags and the Trump flags.
A lot of great people on both sides. Excuse me, fake news. They tried to give me the fly to Destin, Florida with all my homies. And I said, listen, y'all gonna see some shit you ain't never seen before. I'm from Texas, so these are my people. We're on a boat, on a black boat, as a matter of fact. We're the only black people, Trump flags. And my homies like, they from San Francisco. Yo, we gonna end up in this ocean, man. These white motherfuckers. I said, relax. The Southern, trust me. Right. We dock our boat, right? They're playing Proud to Be an American. Love Lee Greenwood. So walk to the back of the boat. White dude with a ZZ Top beard in the water. Jamie Foxx, what in the hell are you doing here? I said, man, I come to kick it with you. Changes his music to Gold Digger. I said, y'all meet me in the middle of the water. We're literally drinking out of the same bottle. Army, Air Force, Navy, Marine guys were all there. We had a great fucking time. We ended up spending the whole day together. This is how America should be. Good old fashioned kicking back and having a good time. I heard one of them guys, I knew Jamie was a patriot.
And at the end, Jamie Foxx says, this is what America should be about. They weren't Jamie Foxx haters. They listened to Gold Digger, they listened to Lee Greenwood, but they had a chance to talk to each other as men and say, you know what, we're fine. And here's the thing, I think we're all finally becoming united. I think we're all starting to dislike the same guy who's in charge. But that's not the way we want to be united, but whatever it takes. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments section. Again, this is a 9-year-old song, but we thought me and Brian should touch base on it and see what it's all about.
Yeah, because we like to do what you request, and somebody requested it.
Yeah, so thank you, Donna, once again for recommending this. I don't know if this is the
response
you wanted to have on it, but we responded to it. So you guys make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell, and please continue sharing our channel with everyone you know. And with this song especially, continue being good to each other. Until next time, I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian.